Have you ever looked at a giant log floating on a lake and then watched a tiny little pebble sink right to the bottom? Kind of weird, right? Well, it's not magic. It's actually some really cool science. And today, we're going to crack the code on what makes things float or sink. And we're not just going to talk about it, we're going to play a game. I want you to become a density detective. Your mission is to look at a few objects I show you and predict, will it float or sink? Think your intuition is up for the challenge? Let's find out. Okay, so for our first round of investigation, we've got 4 everyday items lined up. Let's see how you do. Ready to tackle your first case, detective? All right, here we go. First up, a nice, shiny red apple. I mean, it feels pretty solid, doesn't it? So what's your gut telling you? Is it gonna float or is it gonna sink? Go ahead and lock in your answer. And the results are in. It floats. How'd you do? Did you get that one right? It just kind of bobs there on the surface. But why? This is where we get our very first clue. So here's the secret deal with the apple. It's not totally solid like you might think. Believe it or not, an apple is about a quarter air. Yeah, it's got all these tiny little air pockets trapped inside between its cells. You can almost think of them as built-in life preservers, making the whole thing less dense than the water. Okay, let's switch gears. Our next object is a shiny metal coin. It's way smaller than the apple for sure. But you know how it feels heavy for its size? What's your detective instinct saying this time? And let's see. Yep, sinks like a stone, straight to the bottom, no messing around. That was quick. So what's the clue here? Well, it's totally the opposite of the apple, right? A coin has 0 hidden air pockets. All of its stuff is packed together super, super tightly. And that's why even a tiny coin feels so heavy. It's just way denser than water. All right, detective, how's your record so far? 2 for 2? Let's try another one. Object number 3, a wine cork. You can just feel it, right? It's incredibly light. Now, based on what we've already figured out, I bet you're starting to see a pattern. And let's drop it in. And of course, it floats. Just bobs around right there on top. Yeah, I had a feeling you'd nail that one. And the reason is probably exactly what you're thinking. It's the same deal as the apple. Cork is just naturally full of these tiny air pockets. It's super light and it traps air, which is why it floats so incredibly well. Okay, time for our last object in this round. We've got a smooth river rock. It's solid, it's hard, it definitely feels heavy. So for the final prediction of the round, what's it going to be? And the answer is, it sinks. No surprise there, right? Just like that coin, it goes straight to the bottom. Okay, we've seen 4 different things happen. I think it's time we finally crack this code. You know, all these clues we've been gathering, the air in the apple, the packed-in metal of the coin, they all point to one big idea, one single scientific secret. Let's unlock this mystery once and for all. The big secret here is one word: density. Now, that sounds all sciencey, but it's actually super simple. All it means is how much stuff is packed into a certain amount of space. You know, if you cram a whole lot of stuff into a tiny box, it's really dense. If you have just a little bit of stuff in that same box, it's not so dense. And here's the golden rule, the whole point of this. If something is more dense than water, it's going to sink every time. And if it's less dense than water, it floats. That's it. That is the secret code we've been working on this whole time. So let's look back at our case files and see how it all lines up. The apple and the cork, they floated. Why? Because all that trapped air made their overall density less than the water's. But the coin and the rock, their stuff was packed in so tight they were way denser than water. So they had no choice but to sink. But hold on. Before you get your official density detective badge, I've got one last test for you. And this one has a twist. It's going to really make you think. Okay, here it is, the final challenge, a whole orange. Think about it. It's pretty heavy, it's full of juice, but it's also got that thick, bumpy peel. So, using everything you just learned about density, what's your call? Float or sink? Let's find out. The answer is, it floats. Pretty cool, right? And just like with the apple, the secret is in the skin. That orange peel is kind of spongy and porous, and it traps a ton of tiny air bubbles. It's literally wearing its own life jacket, which makes the whole thing less dense than water. But that leads to a really interesting question, doesn't it? What happens if we take its life vest off? What if we peel the orange and then put it back in the water? Is anything going to change? And will you look at that? It sinks. It goes right to the bottom. Without that airy peel, the fleshy part of the orange is actually denser than water. It just goes to show you how important those little air pockets are. The exact same object goes from floating to sinking, just like that. And there you have it. The secret is officially out. It was never just about how big something is or how much it weighs. It's all about density. So the next time you see something in the water, you're not going to have to guess. You'll know the secret. Congratulations, you are now a density detective.